what records we have suggest that late Rome had a similar sort of nervous breakdown. So there might be something to do with collapsing empires, which induces this psychological dysphoria in people. I wonder if it's also to do with affluence to some extent. I think that it can be quite easy to kid yourself that human nature isn't real, which is a tenet of progressivism, right? If you live a very sheltered life and if you don't tend to interact with humanity at its worst, and you're not really worrying about your ability to feed yourself and your children, maybe affluence generates some of these psychological phenomena. I don't know, but it clearly has occurred at the same time as the loss of the British Empire and the loss of Anglophone dominance in the world. You know, I had this conversation recently with a friend of mine who's an architectural historian, and we were talking about the fact that architecture after the end of the Second World War is just so much worse. It's just so much worse. It's like objectively worse. In the sense that if you ask people which buildings do you find beautiful, they don't like brutalism. They don't like, the houses built in the domestic houses built in 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s beyond are just worse than older houses. And there's a lot going on there, as experts in architecture will tell you, in terms of loss of ornamentation, loss of symmetry, all sorts of things. A lot of it is to do with rejecting traditional ideas about architecture, the belief that actually if you could subverting those ideas is a good thing, that subversion per se is a good thing. And so architects are reluctant to just imitate the forms of the past because they think that that's low status in some way. So there's a lot going on there. But the point that my friend made, which I think is so true, is that in the end, you just kind of have to get into a fundamentally spiritual investigation of why did people decide that the beauty of the past wasn't good anymore? Why did they decide to reject the wisdom of their ancestors when it came to architecture and many other things? And yeah, there is something spiritual there. It's something to do with a sort of cultural dysphoria, which is being experienced particularly in the Anglosphere.